ride. See if this works, because the power just went out. Friday podcast 41.
Yeah. Y'all need a lighter, man. Pass me a lighter, man. I'm trying to get fucked up. All this fucking pressure and shit. You know what? Fuck, let me say something about this, bro. I'm living in the pressure like an underwater submarine. Life is a dream that might end in the guillotine. Call me the super fiend when it comes to the green. Sharp as the kind of sweet fuck like a laser beam. Higher than the satellite, lost in the dimension. Hot for a minute, even private intervention. With shit around, show them all my invention. Flowing like the pros before I got missions.
This is Pitching.
We still hold it in now. I'm like, fuck, start reading books, trying to light up my chakras. Learning more from a weed man than a doctor. All I want is peace, but they all want a piece of me. I'm blowing trees, trying to put my mind at ease. Cause all I want is peace, but they all want a piece of me. I'm blowing trees, trying to put my mind at ease. Living under pressure like an astronaut, I'm full of smoke, party blasting out. Spirit pressure, man, wait.
So today we found out that DMX died, and the story that was in the media was that he overdosed. But literally right before I started recording this, I saw a post that says that his family said that he had just gotten the vaccine and that it gave him a heart attack, and then that's what gave him the heart attack, not a drug overdose. And so I wouldn't be motherfucking surprised, if you know what I'm saying. You know? I just wouldn't be surprised. DMX, first time I was introduced to DMX, I was in one of my uncle's cars. It's the same vehicle that flipped over one time, and I was in the back asleep in the snow, and we had flipped, and by the time I woke up, we were on our side, right? And my grandpa and my uncle were outside of the car already, talking to like a sheriff or some kind of cop. And I'm over here just like, I guess they knew I was sleeping, right? So they left me in there. And I slept through that shit. I slept through a car flipping over. And when I woke up, it was on the side, and I had to walk through the moon roof, right? Or the sun roof, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Star roof. And I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't really see. Everything was blurry. We were on our way to like go to Quinceañera in Missouri, so I was blind basically. Well, not blind because there's a kid in my school who's blind, and that shit is tough. But you know, I mean, it's hard. It's very blurry, and it's not like I was gonna do much at the Quinceañera anyway. It's not like I'm a dancer. Now, back then I wasn't like drinking and shit, so I didn't really dance. I didn't have that liquid courage. Anyway, in that same, I think it was a Honda Passport. In that same Honda Passport, it was me, my uncle was driving, my other uncle was in the car. And I feel like it was either the three of us, I think somebody else was there. I'm not sure who else was there. But the whole time, on the way to Irving, because we went to the Dallas Cowboys game, on the way to Irving, my uncle played the DMX album. This is one of my uncles that was in the Marines, right? And then there was X. That's the album that he played. He played it from beginning to end. We heard half the album on the way to the game, you know, parking and shit. And then we heard the other half of the album leaving, you know, and all the traffic and finally getting home. And that day, I don't even remember the game. But what I remember is that DMX album, right? There was a prayer. There was a song called Angel. Then he had Party Up in Here, which was like a banger. What These Bitches Want with Cisco. You know, that album is classic. And then there was X, is classic. So are many of his other albums. Like I really enjoyed Great Depression. I enjoyed, what's the other one? Grand Champ. I enjoyed, now I discovered It's Dark and Hell is Hot. That wasn't my favorite kind of DMX, but going back, it's like, okay, yeah, I fucks with it. What was the other one? Blood In, Blood Out. But that first album that I listened to, and then there was X, that's what got me. That put me on to so much me. Because of DMX, I got into Nas. DMX, to me, I felt like he was my Tupac. He was revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? He would cry at his concerts because he felt that shit. He gave himself to Jesus. And I know he's in a better place, but it just wouldn't surprise me if he died because he had a heart attack from the vaccine. They say he wanted to travel, and that in order to do that, to leave New York, supposedly, I mean, eventually he was gonna have to get the vaccine to travel. Now, if you follow me on the IG, then you know why I feel the way I do about the vaccine. This is with this S. But I'm not here to talk about that. R.I.P. to the dog. Man, DMX, man. Alright. Posture. But we are indivisible, literal, individuals. Connected to my people via metaphysical, staying positive is priority. I need my mind strong, no fear, no hate, baby. Always ready for the wrong. Fear leads to anger. Shit, I sit up straight. Hate leads to suffering, so scared is what I ain't. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering, so scared is what I ain't. Sometimes I almost died. Several times I almost cried. I used to try and hide from myself with my pride. At times I would lie with immediate regret, but the truth will set you free. Really? Okay, bet. Yo, fuck everybody. At the same time, I love them. To all my former enemies, I wish that I could hug them. I used to want to slug them, kidnap and drug them. Now all I want's a long time. Stay at home and blow pine. Hang out with my son time. Maybe y'all go check out my album, my EP, Dark Days, Bright Nights. And that's Days, D-A-Z-E. If you just YouTube Dark Days, D-A-Z-E, Bright Nights, and you spell Bright Nights the right way, it'll come up. It'll say search results for Dark Days, D-A-Y-S, and Bright Nights, and then put search instead for what you originally wanted to search was Dark Days, D-A-Z-E, Bright Nights. And my album should come. It's an EP, 5 tracks. YouTube music for free. It's fire. I mean, you just heard 2 tracks. Because earlier I played No Pressure. And I just played right now No Fear. Perfect timing, baby. Alright, so let me put some Chill. No, that's too. Alright, that's cool. So the crystal of the week. Right? And I don't like using the word week because it's interesting the way words. Spelling is like casting spells. And I just read that today. So Alright, so like, you go through the week, right? And we become weak. We get to the weekend. And we're weakened. You know what I'm saying? In the morning. Right? Early in the morning. But morning, I'm also mourning for DMX. Right? That's the only ones I can think of. Oh, you earn money and you put a dead body that's burned up in an urn. I mean, you know, and all that shit could be coincidence. I don't know. But anyway, Gypsum. Shout out to Peaky Blinders Gypsies. I don't know why it's called gypsum, even though I did some research. And there's different kinds of gypsum, which I discovered while doing some research. So this particular gypsum is called alabaster, Alabaster, for more of a solid variety. It creates mental calming and an understanding of thoughts, so one may move forward with focus and clarity. Definitely. Sets an energetic foundation for creativity and innovative use of materials. Healing. It fosters energetic support for bone strength, which it kind of looks like bones, and growth. Now this one, you know, sometimes it's just one chakra that a crystal will vibe to. This one vibes to 3. Maybe even, no, it's 2. Maybe 3 because the website I went to, I forgot which one it was, but it had said something about star chakra, which I'm assuming your star chakra's got to be above your crown, right? But I'm not familiar with the star chakra yet, so I didn't go into that. I went into the third eye and the crown. So for the third eye, something a little bit about the third eye. If your third eye chakra is out of balance, you may be oversensitive to others' opinions of you. Being impatient with others may be a symptom of an imbalanced third eye. You may also find yourself being envious of other people. Other people's success, and unable to acknowledge your own. All right, now, some people are strong enough to do that shit on their own. Just acknowledge your own success. But if you need some help, this crystal can give you a little boost. This stone will assist in balancing the left and right hemispheres for the brain. Oh, shit. It encourages the good health of your sinuses, your eyes, ears, and the fucking face, baby. Alright. So that's how it helps your third eye. Now, if your crown chakra, which is right here, is out of balance, you may need to feel as though you are indispensable at work, or need constant sympathy for perceived injustices. You might feel misunderstood by others, or find it difficult to treat others with benevolence. What the fuck is benevolence? I'm gonna look it up, y'all, because I don't know what it is. It's a cool word, though. Sounds cool. My lips have been so dry lately, because I don't think I've been drinking enough water. Man, this fucking definition, it says, marked by or disposed by doing good, a benevolent donor. B, organize the purpose of... These are just examples. It's not a good... Fuck you, Merriam-Webster. So benevolence is a kind act or gift, or the doing of kind things. The doing of kind things for others. An example of benevolence is a gift of money affording someone the opportunity to go to college. An example of someone who had feelings of benevolence was Mother Teresa. Skirt! If you've done a little bit of research on Mother Teresa, same thing with the Dalai Lama. They're not all that cracked. I mean, nobody's perfect, bro. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, just look up Mother Teresa conspiracy. That's all I gotta say. And I hate the fact that they make conspiracy a bad word, like a crazy word, but it's not a crazy fucking word. That word was created by the CIA when people started questioning the official narrative of the John F. Kennedy assassination. Because people were questioning it because it was fucked up. Because you could see there was 2 shooters. There was all kinds of shit, man. With this stone in hand, you will be able to align yourself with the higher forces of the universe and connect to the bodies of energy that surround you. Wow. It will assist you in linking to your past lives and determine their effect on your present. It will help the function of the whole nervous and skeletal system in your body. Bro, everybody should have one of these. What did I just get a tweet? I just put, somebody liked my tweet. 50 episodes on Spotify, baby. Of the Pod and the Friday podcast, plus Odd Pod Sports, plus Harry Potter Odd Pod. Cool. Gypsum. Come and get some. Have fun. Wrote on a big ass sticky note. Alright. Next is angel number of the week. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. You know what? This is not a Friday podcast without one of these. Just like Bobby Lee needs his Red Bull, just like Joe Rogan needs his weed, I need my clean energy drink. About my alley, it's spring. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Thank God for the plan. Yeah. I ain't trying to show off for the gram. I'm trying to make $1 million grand. Haters talk a lot of shit, cause they don't wanna quit, but they don't wanna start. I come at you from the heart, but I try to use my brain and maintain, hide from the pain. Don't understand, what do you mean? Don't understand, man. I go hard in the paint. Man, I'm sipping on some drink. Man, I'm smoking on some dank. Man, I got money in the bank. Fuck the Titanic, bitch, that hoe sank. Like Rockefeller didn't get on it. DuPont didn't get on it. So I don't know. You know, but it could be coincidence. It could be the early 1900s 9/11. Alright. Anyway, angel number 1, 2, 3, 4. I literally mean when you look at the clock and it says 12:34. I saw this a lot. Last summer, I saw right before I started recording this podcast. The time on the Fighter and the Kid new episode is 1 hour, 23 minutes, 46 seconds. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I mean, whatever. Normally I see 1234 is when I see it. Angel number 1234 can be seen as a number of progression and or steps along a journey or life path. Because, I used to think, because when I saw it, it's like, as easy as 1, 2, 3. But it's easy. It just takes a little longer than that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse me. It also can mean to remain patient. To go step by step to achieve your goals. Don't forget that you gotta go step by step. You can't skip steps. You can. I was trying to make it to real life. I like skipping steps when I'm actually physically skipping steps. But I've fallen before on stairs. I think I did it like in college when it was me. I feel like it was either me or I saw somebody. I think I saw somebody at Eastfield. They fell down and shit. Anyway. Good number in reference to starting a business or taking steps towards achieving that. Now, I got this on Google. So take it as the same thing about the Gypsum, right? You gotta believe in it for it to work for you. Just think about the placebo effect. If the placebo effect is real, imagine how powerful the mind is. It's a reminder to recognize your talents and skills. If you've seen it, I see it often when I check the time. 12:34, usually p.m., but sometimes a.m. It also means, when you see it a lot, that you are very talented and intelligent, and your angels believe in you. So not every angel number is like 111. It's not always repeated numbers. Sometimes it's a sequence of numbers. Sometimes it's repeating double numbers, like 1212, which I saw last week while playing chess. And these are times like when the clock stops, when you look at the clock, the date, certain, sometimes on driver's license plates. That's what I mean. All right, let's take this quick smoke break, and then get into the strain of the week and the badass women of history. Just drugs and cash, pretty skinny girls with fat lips and ass, some drunken nights, threesomes and fights, the moon, the stars at night, only cannabis flights. I'm a war unite, for war and in plights, keep it score for our rights. That right, man, we all just guessing, trauma from stressing. It is a blessing. Can't anymore about my method. I'm the man with the plan. Grams for the session. The highs and progressions. Sit back and appreciate the view. I need to blow my nose. Played by Amber Sharday Robinson. or Robinson, in the AMC series Hell on Wheels. Catch that shit on Netflix. Common, the rapper, he's in that show. Her name is Mary Fields. On the show, she shows up like in season 4, but her role is really cool. And I didn't know she was a real person necessarily. Or maybe I did, I don't know. But I follow the show Timeless, which I used to review episodes on this podcast. But there's this on that one that sometimes they share, people in history. I got blocked from them today though, because on the post that they said like they're all sad about Prince Harry or who the fuck, and I put a post where it was a quote of him saying that if he died, he want to be reincarnated as a virus that can help depopulate the world, and overpopulation is a lie. I'm gonna say that here. I've probably said it before. We are overcrowded in major cities. A lot of empty land is privately owned. We're overcrowded for a reason. It's designed that way to make us think we're overpopulated. But really, they just think of the Hunger Games. Less people, the more you can control them. Anyway, Mary Fields, aka Stagecoach Mary, was the first melanated female star route mail carrier in the United States. She was born 1832. She died in 1914. And I was like, well, what the fuck is a star route? And I was like, oh, is that one of the dangerous routes? And I guess it pretty much is, because she had to carry guns. Prior to so I did a little research on star routes. Prior to 1845, transportation of inland mail, so mail inland, other than by railroad, was given to bidders who offered stage or coach service. This was abolished by Act of Congress on March 3rd, 1845. Right? And Mary Fields she wasn't even 10 years, she was 13 years old at that time, which provided that the Postmaster General should lease all such contracts to the lowest bidder who tendered sufficient guarantee of faithful performance without any conditions except to provide for due celerity, clarity, certainty. I don't know. I wrote this very fast. Anyway, certainty and serenity. Oh, security of transportation. These bids became known as clarity, certainty, and security bid. It's clarity. But I don't know why in one of them I wrote celerity. I'm sorry, y'all. All right. Anyway, and were designated on the route registers by 3 stars, thus becoming known as star routes. So these routes were given to people. These routes were given to people that just whoever could do it. So that's what star routes are. She was born in slavery in Hickman County, Tennessee. After the Civil War ended, she was emancipated and found work as a chambermaid on board the Robert E. Lee of Mississippi steamboat. Now, I started writing down yesterday synchronicities and words, because sometimes I'm reading at the same time simultaneously I'm listening to something, and I'll read a word like open. I wrote them down over here. It was 4 words, that synchronized words, that as I wrote them or read them, I also heard them on a podcast or something. Open. I think I was writing or reading Open, and then it also heard it. Foundation, Stage, and Carried. Now those words can be coincidence. It could just be showing me that it's synchronized. I'm synchronized with the universe. And it's hard to remember sometimes. But we are all synchronized with the universe. Anyway, the reason I said that because I said Robert E. Lee, and I was listening to Bobby Lee, and his name is Robert Lee, and there's a whole joke about him making he's an Asian Robert E. Lee in the Civil War, which would be hilarious. All right, so she got a job on after the Civil War, she got a job on the boat, a Mississippi steamboat, as a chambermaid. There on the boat, she met Judge Edmund Dunn and ended up working in his household as a servant. When Dunn's wife was done or dead, he sent Mary and his late wife's 5 children to live with his sister, Mother Mary Amadeus, in Toledo, Ohio, where she was Mother Superior of an Ursuline convent. Which I don't know what Ursuline, but a convent, she was a nun. In 1884, Mother Amadeus was sent to Montana Territory to establish a school for Native American girls at St. Peter's Mission, west of Cascade. So Montana is because on Hell on Wheels, Hell on Wheels is about the Pacific Railroad and the Union Pacific. I don't know. Two different railroads. One started on the East Coast, one started on the West Coast, and there was a race to meet in the middle. Whoever made it to the middle first got they were gonna get paid more. They were gonna own more of the stops or some shit. And it's a real story. There was a lot of corruption. There was chaos. It's a really good series. Hell on Wheels. So anyway, they in like season 3 or 4, they go to Wyoming, and the series just gets better and better, in my opinion. She went to take care of to nurse Amadeus back to health, and Field stayed at St. Peter's. Amadeus recovered, so she saved the life of the nun, and she stayed there at the church or the school or whatever the fuck they were at. She relegated multiple duties regarded as man's work at the time, such as maintenance, repairs, fetching supplies, which I assume is like driving to the store and getting wood or something, laundry and gardening. So laundry used to be man's work. It still is. It's anybody's work. Hauling freight, growing vegetables, tending to the chickens, and repairing buildings. And eventually she became the forewoman, like a foreman. She was the forewoman, which, obviously was a kind of like not a regular. Most women weren't doing that, right? Obviously, if you know anything about history or society. Crazy enough, the Native Americans called Mary White Crow because they said that she acted like a white woman but had black skin. So I'm curious as to what that means. Those Native Americans would have got canceled. Life in the nunnery was placid, but Mary's hearty temperament and habitual profanity means she cussed a lot. Sorry, I'm just having like an allergy attack. Made the religious community very uncomfortable. In 1894, so 10 years after Mother Amadeus was sent to Montana to create the school for girls, for Native American girls, also after several complaints and an incident that Stagecoach Mary had with a disgruntled male subordinate that involved gunplay. So he was pissed off or something because he had to do something, and he probably like threatened to shoot her. And I imagine her being like, "No, I'm not fucking scared," and they were probably like shooting each other or something. The bishop there barred her from the convent, and Fields moved to Cascade, where she opened a tavern. But the tavern waned due to allowing the cash poor, excuse me, to dine free, and it closed to bankruptcy 10 months later. So far she's successful, and she has some failures, but she's still learning. As we all do. We all gotta fuck up sometimes. But everything happens for a reason, and she'll learn. Because she didn't fuck up, really. So by 1895, she was 60 years old. I'm back. I'll be back. See how this goes. I took some of this. Alright. So she was 60. She secured a job as a star route carrier, which we went over, which used a stagecoach to deliver mail in the unforgiving weather in rocky terrain of Montana. With the help of nearby Ursuline nuns, who relied on Mary for help at their mission, this made her the first, according to the article, it says the first African-American woman. Now, I'm just going to say melanated American woman. To work for the U.S. Post. She's the first one. True to her fearless demeanor, she carried multiple firearms, most notably a .38 Smith & Wesson, under her apron to protect herself and the mail from wolves, fucking thieves, fucking bandits. And she drove the route with horses and a mule named Moses. Gangster. She's a fucking gangster. She never missed a day of work, and her reliability earned her the nickname Stagecoach Mary. If the snow were too deep for the horses, Mary delivered the mail on snowshoes, carrying the sacks on her shoulders. This lady is older than 60 years old. It says later life, she's still Catholic. She stayed Catholic, but preferred the company and activities of local men to the sisters and their religious trappings. So she kicked it with dudes because they dude shit, which is all good. It's cool. She was a well-respected public figure in Cascade, and the town closed its schools to celebrate her birthday every year. When Montana passed a law forbidding women to enter saloons, which is like bars, the mayor of Cascade granted her an exemption. In 1903, at 71 years old, she retired from the post service. The townspeople's admiration for her was evident when her home was rebuilt by volunteers after it caught fire in 1912. She continued to babysit many Cascade kids and owned and operated a laundry service from her home. She died in 1914 at Columbus Hospital in Great Falls, and her funeral was one of the largest the town had ever seen. She was buried outside of Cascade. Man. Stagecoach Mary. A G through and through. And they represent her very well in the show, Hell on Wheels. So, thank you for tuning in. It has been a pleasure. I love y'all.